I'm fascinated by the power of costumes to evoke a character in a very intimate way. How someone dresses can show their style and their status, but it can also show so much about their personality too, their interests, their deep passions and their struggles. Breaking Apart the Sick Girl Trope is a project exploring through costume design damaging stereotypes from storytelling that are associated with women who have a chronic illness or a disability. The aim is to provoke conversation about how people are presented in the media and inspire writers and artists to think again about how they're representing characters. I was inspired to do this project from noticing a lack of authentic representation in all forms of storytelling in regards to women who have a chronic illness or a disability. Since reading books as a child to when I've been studying for my degree or working in the arts, there's always been these common tropes coming up. So I spent time going over all different forms of storytelling, from novels and plays and poetry to fine art to video games, and really looking closely at those characters and seeing what tropes and what stereotypes were cropping up time and again. So the first trope that I identified was the beautiful consumptive heroine. Now, the Victorians loved a beautiful consumptive heroine. It's a trope that's been around for over 200 years. She's Jenny in Love Story, she's Evita, she's Lavinia in Downton Abbey, and Snow White as well. This character is incredibly beautiful, unnaturally so, even supernaturally so, and made more beautiful by her illness. She's feminine, delicate, associated with tragic love. She displays the symptoms of tuberculosis, so the pale skin, a very thin body, red lips, sparkling eyes, which are actually, in reality, symptoms of a low-grade fever. But these symptoms have been romanticised by male authors into this female object of unearthly beauty.
In the last stage of consumption, a lady may exhibit the roses and lilies of youth and health, and be admired for her complexion. The day she is to be buried. A quote from the Ladies' Magazine, circa 1790.
One of the key sources of this trope is a courtesan called Marie Duplessis, who was the mistress of André Dumas, and she died of consumption and inspired the character of Margate in his novel La Dame aux Camélias from 1848. And you can trace the inspiration for that character through to Violetta in Verdi's La Traviata, which was in 1853, and Satine in Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge from 2001, as well as many other examples. The beautiful consumptive heroine is a romantic fantasy told by male narrators that ignores the needs and wants and pain and suffering of the woman beneath the trope. The second trope I identified was the happy flower girl, which is perfectly exemplified by Beth in Little Women. She is always sweet, compliant, girlish, incredibly positive, always happy to go along with what everyone else is doing, and often depicted with flowers, nature, or crafts associated with women.
There are many Beths in the world, shy and quiet, sitting in corners till needed and living for others so cheerfully that no one sees the sacrifices, till the little cricket on the hearth stops chirping and the sweet, sunshiny presence vanishes, leaving silence and shadow behind. A quote from Louisa May Alcott's novel Little Women from 1868.
Another example is Ophelia in Hamlet, whose idyllic flower-strewn death has been depicted in many paintings and now features commonly in modern fashion shoots and beauty shoots. Similarly, the Lady of Shalott, who has been cursed to weave endlessly, dies floating on the water and is depicted ever sweet and attractive and calm, surrounded by flowers. The meek and sickly Mimi in La Bohème even introduces herself as the stereotypical happy flower girl.
I embroider silk and satin at home or outside. I'm tranquil and happy, and my pastime is making lilies and roses. I love all things that have gentle magic, that talk of love, of spring, that talk of dreams and fancies. A quote from Puccini's La Bohème from 1895.
The Happy Flower Girl places unrealistic expectations on chronically ill or disabled women that they should always be happy, morally good, serving others, palatable, and extremely positive. The third trope that caught my attention was the sexy, simple demon. So in this trope, a powerful, sexy woman is wronged by either a man or society. Her tragic flaw is her susceptibility to sin or madness, and her reaction to being wronged is extreme violence. As a result of these so-called sins, she becomes disabled, or the narrator presents her as mentally unstable. It seems like this is a consequence of her passions, her aspirations, and her desire to be independent. Examples include Medea and Queen Dido, who react with extreme violence after being wronged by the men in their life. Mr. Rochester's passionate first wife Bertha in Jane Eyre, who is deemed mad by her husband, who locks her in the attic. And Lucy in Dracula, whose innocence is corrupted by vampiric attacks. This is the only trope of the three that features characters that aren't white, which further emphasises the damage that these tropes bring because they're not only ableist but racist as well. The sexy, simple demon is a powerful woman who is punished for her dangerous so-called sins with madness or sickness. It was important to have more than just my voice involved in this project, so I created a series of online discussion sessions and invited women and non-binary people who had themselves experience of disability or chronic illness to join those sessions and to share their experience and to join in the conversation. Their ideas guided the creation of the exhibition. Those participants have been invited to submit artworks for the fourth area of the exhibition, which explores positive representations of women who have a chronic illness or a disability in storytelling. I hope this inspires modern storytellers to search for more interesting and authentic ways to present characters that are female and have a chronic illness or disability. I also hope the exhibition will provoke conversation and help people who are frustrated by these tropes to talk to people around them about it. The project's aim is to make people more aware of the representation of chronic illness and disability in the media, and of course hope people enjoy the costumes and the artworks and the stories presented in the exhibition. There's so much value and excitement in exploring authentic stories about fascinating women who have a chronic illness or a disability. Breaking apart the sick girl trope, costume design exhibition. Thursday the 27th of October to Wednesday the 2nd of November 2022. Pie Factory Margate, 5 Broad Street, CT9 1EW. Free entry. Opening times. Thursday the 27th of October, 12 till 6 p.m. Friday the 28th of October to Tuesday the 1st of November, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday the 2nd of November, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Explore the project at www.thesickgirltrope.wordpress.com. With thanks to Pie Factory Margate for hosting this exhibition. With thanks to Arts Council England for funding this project.